So there's this really interesting word, stultify, and it means cause to lose enthusiasm and initiative, especially as a result of tedious or restrictive routine. Now, who hasn't felt this when it comes to school or church or business? So it's interesting because we really do. We want to be creative, I think, to a large degree, and I mean, the world just chokes that out of us, doesn't it? The arrangement of mankind, the cosmos, the way man has arranged things for themselves. And anytime you try to speak against it, there's these sacrosanct views towards these institutions and these corporations that they believe are just too sacred to change. So sacrosanct means regarded as too important or valuable to be interfered with. Now, isn't that the way they view these institutions they create? And no amount of reasoning with or showing history to these people will actually help. They marginalize you, and they disenfranchise us, and they use quantifernia to do it. An undue reliance on our use of facts that can be quantified are analyzed using mathematical or statistical methods. Inappropriate application of such methods, especially in the fields of sociology and anthropology. So we see this all the time. They'll say 90% of people do blah, 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 blah. Or they'll say 25% of people do blah, 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 blah. And I mean, it's just, there are so many complexities to life and so many different kinds of people that to do these random polls from wherever you might derive them, to a large degree, are they're just, there's too many, like I said, just reiterate, there's too many exceptions. So in Colossians, we find that when Jesus was nailed to the cross, so were all the rituals. So people will say, well, didn't Jesus do this? It's like, yeah, but then he was nailed to the cross along with all those rituals. So right here, he says that we were dead, or it says, and you being dead in your sins and the uncircumcision of your flesh hath he quickened together with him, having forgiven you all trespasses, blotting out the handwriting of ordinances that was against us, which was contrary to us, and took it out of the way, nailing it to his cross. And having spoiled principalities, and principality is like an old word for government, and Niccolo Machiavelli, the prince, will tell you there's a hereditary principality and there's a republic principality. So, and he made a show of them openly, triumphing over them in it. And that's the picture of him as the head of the body. And in a picture, it is kind of like a corporate, because corporate comes from the word for body, and we are in that body. So he took it out of the way, right there, blotting out the handwritings of ordinances that was against us, which was contrary to us, and took it out of the way, nailing it to his cross. So people will say, well, you need this ritual, you should eat this, or you should do this, and you should be washed like this, or you should come here at a certain time. And this is just completely contrary to those views. And he goes on to say, let no man therefore judge you in meat or in drink or in respect of a holy day. They can't tell you to eat crackers, meat. The old word for meat is bread. The old word for bread is meat, and the old word for drink, or you can see how they can't judge you in any kind of drink. Well, you should drink this or that in this kind of little ritual. It tells you not even in respect of a holy day or of the new moon or of the Sabbaths, which are a shadow of things to come, but the body is of Christ. So people can't judge you in these things. And it goes on to talk about pasture worship here. Like I've told before, in A.T. Robertson's word pictures, he explains that the word not doesn't belong here. It's actually things that you have seen, not hath not seen. It's hath seen, because people worship these demagogues, the people that stand between the private, secret hand and then the actual public people who they steal money from. And it says, wherefore, if you be dead with Christ from the rudiments of the world, whilst though living in the world, are you subject to ordinances. Now this word ordinances is dogma, and that's what it said up there when blotting out the handwritings of ordinances. Dogma, dogmatizo, right there. Then up here, blotting out the handwritings of ordinances, dogma. That has to do with people who make decrees, like Caesar. The leaven of the Pharisees, the leaven of Herod, the pride, the playing dress up. We've been through all that. Now in Isaiah, he speaks of this same kind of thing right here. When he says, let me see, he says, let me see, to what purpose is the multitude of your sacrifices unto me, saith Yahweh? I am full of the burnt offerings of rams and the fat of beasts, and I delight not in the blood of bullocks or of lambs or of he-goats. I don't want these rituals anymore. When ye come to appear before me, what hath required this, or who hath required this at your hand, to tread my courts? Bring no more vain oblations, just worthless, like the wind, right? Incense is an abomination unto me. I don't want to smell that. Get it away. The new moons and the Sabbaths. Isn't that what it just said in Colossians 2? Yes. The calling of assemblies I cannot away with. It is iniquity, even the solemn meeting. Your new moons and your appointed feasts my soul hateth. They are a trouble unto me. I am weary to bear them. And when ye spread forth your hands, I will hide mine eyes from you. Yea, when ye make many prayers, I will not hear. Your hands are full of blood. Wash you, make you clean. Put away the evil of your doings from before mine eyes. Cease to do evil. Learn to do well. Seek judgment. Relieve the oppressed. We talk about that a lot on my channel. Relieve the oppressed. Judge the fatherless. Plead for the widow, the orphan, the widow. Come now, and let us reason together, saith Yahweh. Though your sins be as scarlet, they shall be as white as snow. Though they be red like crimson, they shall be as wool. If you be willing and obedient, you shall eat the good of the land. But if you refuse and rebel, you shall be devoured with the sword. For the mouth of Yahweh hath spoken it. So, this is important things to learn right here about the fact that people try to hold you down to rituals, and that same concept can be seen in John 4. If I run out of time, I'm sorry, but I just wanted to show you this. When she says that you say Jerusalem's the place to worship, and so our fathers worshipped in this mountain, and you say that in Jerusalem is the place where men ought to worship. Jesus saith unto her, Woman, believe me, the hour cometh when ye shall neither in this mountain nor yet at Jerusalem worship the Father. They try to get you to go to these places, do these rituals. It's not true. Ye worship ye know not what. We know what we worship, for salvation is of the Jews. But the hour cometh, and now is, when the true worshippers shall worship the Father in spirit and in truth. For the Father seeketh such to worship him. God is a spirit, and they that worship him must worship him in spirit and in truth. And we are vessels, and Christ in us. We are the anointed. Just like the king and the priest were the anointed. We are the anointed now. So I hope this helps, and we know God is the Spirit. Jesus is that Spirit. The Father is Jesus. Jesus is the Father. It was Yahweh incarnate. So, and our body is the vessels, and he dumps his Spirit into us, and we become one body. You might have heard that called the mystical body before, but that's what we are. We are no longer one. We're no longer separate. We've transcended that, and we recognize our brothers as part of the same body. So I hope this helps. Thank you for taking the time to watch, and I'll see you in the next video. All right, bye.